Mozilla's got a hot new one-tap approach to online privacy and anonymity through their flagship VPN service. In this video, we're going to unveil the features, the pros and cons, and my personal opinion about just how secure and anonymous this new Mozilla VPN really is. Before we get started here, my name is Keyboard Warrior Tony, and I'm an associate level network analyst who enjoys making videos about custom keyboards, tech, and IT related content. If that all sounds right up your alley, make sure to hit that red subscribe button right now so you can see new videos when I post them. And at the very least, if you want to see some more of that little man right there, be sure to like the video. First off, let's take a look at some of the features that this new service provides. Mozilla VPN has a really clean and intuitive client. This is really good for new VPN users, and it's also very lightweight, so you can use it across multiple devices. It's also got launch and connect on Windows startup controls. You can enable or disable the local network access in the options. It's even got IPv6 support, device management, and it even has a mobile app for Apple and Android users. I'd say that the best part about this VPN service is that it uses the new and the hip VPN protocol called Wireguard. This protocol aims to improve upon the security and the speed of some of the older yet more well-renowned protocols like OpenVPN and IPsec by using the newest and most efficient cryptography features. It also has this really neat built-in kill switch that basically acts like a firewall that prevents you from leaking your IP whenever you disconnect, if your internet goes out, maybe you're switching from network to network. Through those transitions, this kill switch is going to completely block any ingress or egress traffic that may be coming from your machine, and it's going to keep them blocked until the system deems it acceptable and safe to be transmitting traffic once again. Now, we did just mention some of the pros when we were discussing the features of the new service. However, let's weigh out the pros versus the cons. Next, they've obviously got a very user-friendly client, which is going to be intuitive for pretty much anybody looking to pick the service up. They're using the most updated and state-of-the-art protocols with WireGuard, which is blazing fast and incredibly secure. You're always going to be protected online from IP leaks because of that kill switch that's built in. One thing that I didn't mention in the features is that with their partner Molvad, there is actually over 700 servers worldwide to connect to for any of your geo unblocking needs. Now let's venture on over into the dark side a little bit with some of the cons here about the service. Now the first con I want to mention here is just the lack of dedicated IPs. Now for the average user, this probably isn't even going to be a con, as online anonymity can be best secured by using the shared IP feature, right? Think about it. It's really hard to stay anonymous when you're the single one person using an IP address. Now, with that being said, your data will still be encrypted using a dedicated IP, but think about it. 100 people using the same IP versus one person using the same IP, you're a little bit more anonymous when you're using the shared IP. But with that being said, the service still doesn't offer the option to get the dedicated IP, so we are chalking that up as a con. And the next couple cons here are going to get kind of heavy, so bear with me here, but I kind of feel passionately about this one, especially coming from Mozilla. So that leads us into con number 2, is the fact that Mozilla doesn't use anonymous account creation and or payment options like their partner Molvad does. This means that, in my opinion, you're not exactly entirely anonymous when you're using this service, because you need to be signing up with your email address, with your Firefox account. So, boom, there's a link there, right? There's a link there that's, you know, one area where you're not going to be remaining completely and entirely anonymous. For most people, isn't that going to matter? Probably not, but again, this is just for sake of transparency, right? You do not have an anonymous account when you're using the service. And really, this ties right on over into the next point, which is, in my opinion, the biggest and most important con that you need to be aware of, that you might not be aware of just by looking at the homepage, right? Mozilla is going to be keeping connection logs. And I say it that way with emphasis because I just think it's very important, and this is the biggest turnoff for me here on this service. Is that a big deal that they're keeping connection logs? For most of us, it's probably not, right? We're really not, most of us are really not going to be doing some crazy illegal type activities. However, in my opinion, I really felt like Mozilla let me down personally here by dancing around the fact that they keep these logs. I think that if they were, like their partner, incredibly transparent about what they're storing, what they're using, what they're doing with data, it would be much less of a big deal for me personally, right? If they would have put that right there on the front page, it would have been much less of a deal here for me personally as a user, rather than dancing around. And they even said things like, we do not store your activity logs online, which is probably true, right? They probably aren't keeping track of your your activity logs, but the fact remains that they are storing your connection logs. And for me, they even mention flat out that, word for word, Mullvad puts your privacy first and does not keep logs of any kind, right? They say that word for word on their front website, and in my opinion, it's like, don't you think Mozilla would want to do the same thing, which they claim to do, right? I'm showing you pictures right now. They claim to say that your privacy is first. Well, why not be transparent at minimum? And number two, why keep those logs, right? You know, again, that's not up for debate because that's what they chose to do. It's just, I wish that they were significantly more transparent about that decision, right? Now, really with that pet peeve out of the way, let's move on to the final con, and really it's an easy one because it's just about pricing. Now, I do think that they're offering pretty competitive pricing at what, $5-6 for the month. That's pretty standard, what you're gonna see mostly across the boards. However, what I was disappointed not to see was the fact that they don't have any discount, options. So what's the benefit of me buying a year, right? What's the benefit of me saying, hey, Mozilla, I like your service. I want to lock in. Give me 12 months, even if they reduced it to $4.99 or $3.99, right? There were VPNs that when you buy 2 years worth, you're paying $1.99 per month. That's just something that I personally would have liked to have seen if I would have been choosing to go that extended route and trusting them with my money, right? But instead, they're forcing you to pay by month. And there's no discount, there's no real benefit of locking in any more than that and spending that money. So, why would you, right? All right, man, so here we go. After using the servers for a few days now, I'm weighing out the pros versus the cons. I do want to, transparently say this is not a service that I personally am going to be continuing to use as my primary VPN service. And I'll tell you why here in a second. And, I don't want to take this time to bash the service itself or even bash Mozilla because that's not necessarily what this is about. However, there are a couple of things that really just rub me the wrong way about this service. And it's not about the fact that they do connect or that they do keep those connection logs. To me, it's really about the delivery there, right? If I didn't tell you, for example, that they keep these logs, as a viewer, would you have figured that on your own, right? Just looking at the front page, would you have realized that, within a reasonable amount of time without digging for that information? Would you understand that they keep those logs? And for me, the answer was no. I really had to dive deep and dig and figure that out on my own, right? I don't like that. Especially when this company is partnered with Mullvad, who, boom, open chest, everything's out in the open. That's what they base their model off of, right? But, with all of that in mind, I do think that for the average person, right, for the average user, even for the things that I would be using this service for, Mozilla, it really would work as a VPN. I think it's a very fast service. The encryption is very solid and reliable. I just really don't like the way they danced around that. And in addition, the big con for the pricing is big for me as well, right? If I want to sign up for 12 months, boom, without thinking about it, I'm not going to get a discount for doing that. My money might be better spent elsewhere. So for me, I'm likely actually going to be continuing to use that Mullvad service, even though I don't believe, at this moment, I don't believe that they offer a pricing discount as well. Could be wrong there. I will likely be doing a follow-up video just in-depth reviewing the Mullvad service. So if you guys are interested in seeing some more VPN reviews, again, I do, IT videos, custom keyboard videos, anything about tech I love talking about it. I hope you guys get involved in the comments below. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button, guys. It really helps out a lot. So until next time, I'm Keyboard Warrior Tony. I'll see you then. Peace out. Thanks for coming.